New, new black Wall Street book club. Evan Jefferson, brother, much love. Educating, elevating, because in knowledge is the power and we'll never give it up. Literature that's for the masses. Where to put your money down, now how to watch your assets. Yeah, uplifting others is a passion. My brother Evan, he will turn it into action. New Black Wall Street book club. You should come read with us. Yeah, we comprehend and discuss. If we all just come together, there's no limit for us. Here comes your host, New Black Wall Street. Evan, take it away. New Black Wall Street book club.
All right, man. Good evening to you, beautiful people. Thanks so much for joining us here tonight for the New Black Wall Street Book Club After Dark edition. Man, we spend a little time at night to get our everlasting mind right, and I'm super, super excited that you are here with us here tonight as we're going to continue our journey into this book called The University of Success. Now, when we call it a book, it's really like a lesson plan, or it's really like a course that you would take at some university. That reason why they call it University of Success. And we happen to be into lesson number 14 in semester number 3. So we've already gone through 2 semesters, and we're now into semester number 3. At any rate, want to guys go ahead and introduce myself as your host, or as your host for tonight. I am ERGJ, your certified global financial educator, CEO of ERGJ Enterprises, the Black Bazaar, and international best-selling author of the book, The Black Billionaires Club. The book that I wrote, guys, is a study of Black wealth. It's a study of the 12 richest Black people in the world today and how they built their wealth. And I just truly believe that if you want to be wealthy, that's the big if. But if you do, I recommend that you study wealthy people. You can find that book by simply going to the website, theblackbillionairesclub.com. That's right, theblackbillionairesclub.com. Pick up your copy today. Well, let's find out who's joined us here tonight. I can't believe we only got 5 people that joined us so far tonight, but I don't know. Y'all going to miss out on a wonderful, wonderful time, because tonight is going to be hot and spicy. Anyway, hit the like button, share button, subscribe button, follow button, tag a person. If you are your brother's keeper, you are your sister's keeper. If you feel like reading is important, man, go ahead and let them know that we are here, Black folk reading, and we read some good quality books that could change their life. Also, let us know where you're connecting from tonight. What city, what state, what country, what city, what state, what country. We're broadcast across the World Wide Web into Facebook and also YouTube, understanding that worldwide means global. And I've been very fortunate, a very fortunate brother, to broadcast from a little town called Decatur, Georgia, and reach my brothers and sisters all over the world using the internet. So we'd love to know just how far our reach might be here tonight. For those that's joining us live and those that might hit to replay or might catch the replay, let us know what city, what state, what country you quite possibly are joining us from, your laptop, your mobile device, or your PC. Go ahead and put that in the comments below right now. What city, what state, what country. Love to shout you out and see who joined us here tonight on the New Black Wall Street Book Club After Dark. Of course, Miss Vivian Reed is in the hizzy. Thanks so much for joining us out of Brooklyn, New York, is in the house. And also Sincere Newman has joined us as well, out of Mableton, Georgia, BBC member as well. Thanks so much for joining us here tonight. Somebody else, Deshaun Lockhart. What's going on, brother? I did not know you were from Jackson, Mississippi, brother, man. Thanks so much for joining us here tonight on the New Black Wall Street Book Club, as we're going to continue our journey into the University of Success. And tonight we are going to start part 1. This will probably be a 3-part series, and it's called How to Win Your War Against Negative Feelings. Now, what I did tonight was I opened myself up to my personal page as well, because I was saying, you know what, some of the stuff that we're talking about, I just have to give them the opportunity to capture if they want to, right? Because this is such life-changing stuff. But you can find us, guys. Not you can find us, but I'm sorry. Want to shout out to everybody that's on from the personal page of Evan Jefferson. If you are joining in with us here tonight, you might not have said anything, but thanks so much for joining. We are going to have us a lesson tonight. BBC TV, thanks so much, everybody from the Empowerment Duo, the Financial Health Mentor page, and our ERGJ Enterprise page, which is where we do most of our business from, both on Facebook and also YouTube. Thanks so much for joining us. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, a quick setup before we get into our discussion here tonight. Before I do that, I'm sorry. Make sure that you guys go ahead and hit the like, follow button to BBC TV. This is where you will find us exclusively in a couple of weeks. So go ahead and get familiar with the page. That's where we connect with other content creators to create our own media and control our own media as well. Now, set up for the book. What we've come to find as we have been reading, I think for about 3 weeks or so, at night, there's a difference. Okay, there is a distinct difference between reading at night and reading in the morning. So I do have 2 book clubs. I have one that I do in the morning, which is actually going to end this week, and one that I do at night. And we have found that in the evening, something magical happens, and we call this activating your subconscious. Everybody put in console, activating your subconscious. Something happens. I don't know whether we're settling down and now our subconscious we can hear, or our subconscious can hear all the noises down. I'm not quite sure what happens, but something happens at night where it begins to activate the subconscious, where we can speak through our consciousness into our subconsciousness, and our subconsciousness can capture it almost instantly, hold on to the thing that needs to be held on to, and then remind us, talk to us about it, have conversation with us about it in the middle of the night, whatever. So we've had plenty of people with their testimonies about how their night after the book club was unlike any night they've had recently. So I just want to set you guys up. So you may want to, pen and paper might be useful. If you don't have that, I would say use the chat box to do some muscle memory. Make sure you grab what you need to grab here tonight, as we're going to be talking about how to win your war against negative feelings. Let's start with the quote for this lesson, and it goes something like this. It says this: your life need not be a succession of 24-hour vacuums, nor must you live in an emotional dungeon any longer. Your life need not be a succession of 24-hour vacuums, nor must you live in an emotional dungeon any longer. Now, there's some strong damn words, okay? An emotional dungeon, oh Lord. An emotional dungeon, originally from Saginaw. Okay, Saginaw, Michigan. What's going on, Deshaun? Activate, right? Activate the subconscious. You need not live in an emotional dungeon any longer. Told y'all, this book is serious. Dr. Maxwell Maltz. Now, Dr. Maxwell Maltz, we've heard from him already before. It looks like he gets 2 spots in this book, as we're going to jump into lesson 14, how to win your war against negative feelings. Now, I don't know about you, but I know quite a few people who should probably be listening to this tonight. But of course, they're probably in war right now, so they ain't listening to nobody. They ain't listening to nobody pretty much right now while they're at war. But I wish they would listen to somebody so they could win their war. New Black Wall Street Book Club, After Dark. Let's read. So Maxwell Maltz is one of a very small group of experts who will make a second appearance in the University of Success. This semester on the power of your thoughts would not be complete without him. For many years, as one of the world's most renowned plastic surgeons, Dr. Maltz had studied the personality changes that took place in his patients after he had removed their scars and deformities through plastic surgery. Many who had lost their self-respect and pride because of what they considered their ugliness immediately developed a good image of themselves after surgery and became happy, confident human beings. But many others still felt as inferior, dejected, and hostile as they had been before their operation. The change in their physical image, according to Dr. Maltz, meant nothing to them. So weak was their concept of themselves as people. So weak was their self-image. Now, I was fortunate to actually kind of read through this first little part. And this part right here really got me, because I started thinking about Black people. And I started thinking about how weak our concept of ourselves are as people. So weak that we'll call another group of people the majority. Or we think of ourselves as a minority. We think of ourselves as weak, small, not enough. We give them all the power that's coming from our words. We think they're more powerful. We think they're more greater. We think they're in a higher position on this in this societal life. Now, some of this might be true. They might be. That still don't need to be. That still don't need to be. That still does not mean it's true in my life. So weak, he said. Those two words. I was really thinking about black. I was like, so weak is our self-image. So weak. Now, I can say this because of how much work I've done in trying to help black people believe in themselves. I've done a ton of work over a decade of work. Still trying to get black folk to believe in themselves. Listen, this is how bad it is, okay? And I'm not gonna just harp on us, but I want to listen to this. It's 2021. Just think about this for a second. It's 2021. And we still have to convince black people to buy from black people. If that's not weak, I don't know what is. It's 2021. And black people are still out here convincing or trying to convince other black people to buy from black people. That's pretty weak. It's 2021. Now I'm going to say this. This is not just a black folk thing. And we're still trying to convince people to read the Bible. In 2021. Weak. Now I hope that who we're talking to here tonight, I hope you're not weak. And even if you are, I hope after you listen to what we have to say tonight, that you'll be stronger. Let's keep going. Out of his observations came several popular books, according to Dr. Maltz, books, among them Creative Living for Today. I want you to write that down. Creative Living for Today, from which this lesson is taken so that you will understand how to tackle your life situations healthily. Without allowing prejudice against yourself to eat its way into your mind. Dr. Maltz, now this is the brother who wrote the book. Dr. Maltz said he thinks he considered this to be possibly the most valuable book he had ever written. I might need to get that book. Okay, Creative Living for Today. Creative Living for Today. He writes, deeply ingrained negative attitudes permeate our culture, and everyday people may try to submerge you in them. You must not allow, everybody put in console, I must not allow. You must not allow yourself to be railroaded into adopting stereotype, humiliating attitudes towards yourself. You must not allow. Now, if we use this term, if we use these words, you must not allow, that says to me that you and I, we have a decision. That's a decision. Like, nope, I'm not taking that. Nope, that's not allowed. Nope, that's not coming around my way. I hear you talking, but I'm not listening. Okay? You must not allow yourself to be railroaded into adopting stereotype, humiliating attitudes towards yourself. Your thoughts, your concepts, your images, and are your most precious assets. Listen to an expert as he teaches you how to protect them. I must not allow. Now, how many of us would be honest and say, you know what? There was a time in my life where I did allow the words of others, the thoughts of others, the opinions of others to affect how I thought about myself. Not anymore. Those days are over. Let's keep reading. Your self-image will sustain you in creative living if you learn to declare war on your negative feelings. Now, I like that game. I declare war. Everybody put in console, I declare war. And win the war in the battlefield of your mind. Let me read this again. Your self-image will sustain you in creative living if you learn to declare war on your negative feelings. Your mind is a battlefield. Never doubt this. And if you win, you will experience peace of mind during your fulfilling days. Your infantry, crawling slowly through the underbrush, seeking contact with the enemy, creeping through the darkness behind his lines to discover his positions, is your awareness of the supreme importance of your thinking and of your mental imaging. Your Air Force equipped with the latest model jets and tactical striking force? Is your adoption of an active philosophy, your setting of goals, your use of your success mechanism? The buildup of your air power is your work to strengthen your self-image, your picture of yourself, your concept of your own worth. Your Navy cannot transport your troops to victory, however, until it has located your great enemy, your failure mechanism. Before you can go forward in this war, you must discover this mechanism of self-defeat and root it out of your mind. Does this comparison of your thinking with war make you smile? It shouldn't. It shouldn't at all. In our troubled world, so many people's minds are full of misery. To scoop this misery out, to expose this cancerous thoughts to the light, then to crush these morbid ideas and replace them with happy concepts and images, this often requires war. A very vital war. One with the apologies to Woodrow Wilson to make your mind safe for happiness. Many years ago, Edward Bulwer Lytton said that the pen is mightier than the sword. And this saying is now almost everyone's cultural heritage. Today, with the strident advances made in the knowledge of the human mind during the last 100 years, we can say that a person's thoughts, his images, are mightier than guns. So let us declare war on negative feelings, on our failure mechanism. But let us resolve that our basic aim is destruction only of negativism. After that, peace and happiness. Then goals and full living, years of creative living without fear. Overcoming false beliefs. Here's a subsection. Overcoming false beliefs. New Black Wall Street Book Club. Let's keep reading. No goal is more vital than to dehypnotize yourself from the false beliefs which paralyze your success mechanism. You reading this are a man or a woman, not a God. What goals are meaningful? What can you do with yourself if your beliefs pull you down into failure? What can you do but sink into the non-activity of depression, renouncing all goals, blotting sunshine out of your life, moping dejectedly in a dark room while others go out into the world and live? In creative living, you must dehypnotize yourself. Everybody put in the comments below, dehypnotize yourself. That'll be DEHYPNOTIZE. Dehypnotize yourself from your false negative beliefs about yourself. The word dehypnotize is not too strong because so many people have beliefs which are unshakable, which must be jarred out of them, which only a forceful counter suggestion can uproot. Their beliefs so often absurd. Cement inferiority complexes formed of unfortunate early experiences and ridiculous misinformation. The results are sad. Do you believe that your life will be empty because you're an inferior person who has never done anything worthwhile and never will? Do you believe that you should suffer to atone for the mistakes you've made? Do you believe that life has no meaning for you because a loved one has passed away? Do you believe that the only way to live in an atomic age is to spend every day worrying about a nuclear holocaust? If you think along these or similar lines, you are harboring false beliefs. Granted that you've known tragedy and that you have your faults, you are still hypnotizing yourself with false negative ideas. Worse, you are torturing yourself with them. You are crucifying yourself. Even your worst enemy might be kinder. In my 65 plus years of tenure in this funny world, I've learned some of the most amazing things. One is that people who are completely objective in appraising political trends or medical conditions or stock market movements or mechanical gadgets or other people are often totally blind to the irrationality of their false beliefs about themselves. Not only that, considerate of others. They can be ruthlessly vindictive towards themselves. I've operated on dozens and dozens of people to improve deficient features, only to find that after surgery, they replace their real physical fault in their minds with a nonsensical belief which continued their unswerving fixation on their inferiority. Their negative beliefs varied. Their movement toward failure was the same kind of mechanism. But your negative, false belief about yourself is true, isn't it? Steve's is laughable and Betty's is idiotic, but yours is true. Is that what you think? Then let me tell you a story. Next subsection, victory over the African bug. Now, here's the deal. I mean, this shit is hitting hard. Okay, like, listen. He said their negative beliefs varied, but their movement toward failure was the same kind of mechanism. Their movement toward failure. Now, I know we're not talking about you. I just want you to think about maybe some people you know that you see them on a regular basis moving towards failure, not towards success. And I'm talking about their movement. I'm talking about the results that they get from their own actions or their own non-actions. You see, I mean, now in other terms we use for something like this, we talk about moving towards failure. We call it drifting. We call it neglect. It's just going through the motions, right? Not taking control of your life. All this stuff. It still pretty much all means the same. But you see them each and every day, and you know. Here's the thing. You know their potential. You know they got it. They just not using it. And you're slowly watching them move towards failure every day. Bad decision after bad decision or non-decision. And you say, I mean, and it probably does the same thing to you that it does to me. It mystifies you. Like, how in the world? You got all this talent, but every day you're moving towards failure. Every day you're just drifting by and by, letting the world just pass you by, especially when they're younger. I mean, you probably you look at the old folks like, okay, they don't live their life. That's what they decide to do. That's what they decide to do, even though you know they still got potential. But especially when you see a younger cat or a younger sister, he be like, you got too much life in front of you to just let life pass you by. This movement towards failure. Victory over the African bug. Victory over the African bug. Let's find out what this story is about. So many years ago, shortly after I opened my office to start practicing as a plastic surgeon, a tall black came to see me. A tall black. Over 6 feet 4 inches tall, he towered above me. He complained about his lip. I examined him. I called him Mr. R. His underlip protruded somewhat, but I could find nothing wrong with it, and I told him this. Mr. R said it is not his idea, but his girlfriend's. She told him that she was ashamed to be seen with him in public because of the protuberance of his lip. I found him a sweet, dignified giant of a man and thought to myself that a woman in love would never be so critical of such a man. When I told him this, he still wanted me to perform an operation on his lip, thinking that an outrageous fee would influence him to forget about a lip operation. I said that it would cost him $1,200. Mr. R said he couldn't afford such a fee and bid me goodbye, thanking me and bowing in a most courteous manner. But the next morning, he was back. A little black bag in his hand, he dumped his contents on the table. Bills poured out, hundreds of bills. $1,200 worth of bills, his life savings. He offered them to me most graciously to pay me for operating on his lip. I was shocked, a little sad too, because I didn't want to deprive him of what was for him a huge sum of money. I told him that I had asked for him an exorbitant fee so that he'd give up the idea of the lip operation, but he didn't need. But when he said that he wanted plastic surgery and would go to another doctor if I wouldn't accept him as a patient, I agreed to operate for a smaller fee and on a condition that he tells his lady love my fee was $1,200. The operation was simple enough, right? Yeah, I know that's right, Alva. Non-decision is the worst decision. The operation was simple enough. Under local anesthesia, I cut the superfluous tissue from inside lip, approximated the rims of the wound with extremely fine silk, and bandaged the lip outside for support. Within half an hour, I was finished. The patient returned a few times to be treated and have bandages changed. The last one was removed a week later. All the surgery was done inside the lip. There was no visible scar. Mr. R was happy with his lip. He crushed my hand in his great grip and thanked me in his hearty, polite tones. Then he strode from my office, a commanding figure. A few weeks later, he was back, but I could hardly recognize him. His body seemed to have shrunk. His hands had lost their strength. His voice was squeaky. I asked him what had happened. The bug, sir, the bug. What bug? The African bug, sir, he said. It's got me and it's killing me. He told me his woes. After the bandages on his lip had been removed, he went to see his woman. She had remarked on his new lip and asked him how much it had cost. When he told her $1,200, as I had asked, her whole manner towards him changed. Furious, she accused him of cheating her of the $1,200 that should have been hers, and told him she never really loved him. She cursed him and told him that he would die from this curse. Deeply troubled, Mr. R had gone to his room and lain there for 4 days. Then he thought of the curse. He was an educated man, had received good schooling. Curses and magic were for the ignorant. Still, this woman had held him under her spell from the time he had met her. He figured that if she could put him under a spell when she didn't hate him, then perhaps she could bring on his death with her curse. Then, running his tongue around, he discovered the horrible thing inside his mouth. Shortly after this, his landlady, concerned that he was just lying in his room, not eating, brought him a visitor, a doctor. R had told him about the terrible thing in his mouth, and the doctor, examining it, cried out as he removed his finger from the thing in R's mouth. It's killing you, he said. The slimy African bug stuck inside your mouth because of the curse that is on you. The tall man, breathing fearfully, covered his face with his hands. It is really in your mouth, I asked him. It is really in your mouth? I asked him, yes, sir. He told me about how the doctor tried to help him drive the African bug away with liquids, paste, and potions, but the curse was too strong. Nothing could destroy the African bug. All he could think of was the African bug. Fear of the African bug kept him awake at night. It burned inside my lip. Your lip? Yes, sir, inside my mouth. You didn't say your lip before. I examined it. That it. He nodded. Should I get rid of it? Please, sir. Filling a syringe with Novocaine, I injected it in his lip. After the Novocaine had taken effect, I removed the African bug with a knife and forceps. It took a second. I showed Mr. R the African bug on a piece of gauze. It was no bigger than a grain of rice. Is that the bug, sir? He looked disbelieving. It's just a bit of scar tissue which formed on your lip where I removed the stitches after the operation. Then there was no African bug. I smiled. Mr. R stood up. He seemed to have regained his full height in that instant. A rich smile spread over his face, and his voice boomed out again as he thanked me in his usual gravely courteous way, bowing as he left. There was a happy ending to this story. It arrived in the mail. Mr. R, enclosing a snapshot of his childhood sweetheart whom he had married, sent me his regards, and a postscript laughed at African bugs. In the picture, he was smiling. Handsome giant of 30 is his true age, with a lovely girl beside him. Victory over the African bug. Now it's amazing here how Mr. R was overcome by his thoughts of a curse, what the lady that he loved, what she was doing to him, and he kept believing her over his own thoughts about himself. Now the doctor was trying to help him. I mean, he was like $1,200. That wasn't enough. No. I got to get this surgery. And then it got to a point where he had a curse and a bug in his mouth that he couldn't remove. He never looked properly. It's amazing. It is amazing how we think impacts how we live. Is it possible that you, again, have taken on some negative beliefs, some false negative beliefs, because I believe that's what we're talking about here, overcoming false beliefs. And this, I mean, this story is pretty funny, but nonetheless, we see people going through this each and every day of our lives. Overcoming negative beliefs. What's going on, Eric Brown? How you doing, man? Thanks so much for joining us over at YouTube. So here's the question. What is your African bug? What is your African bug? This story points a fascinating moral. Here is this fine young man, tall and strong, courtly and dignified, unsophisticated perhaps, but intelligent, yet a ridiculous belief had almost destroyed him. His fear of the African bug is so ridiculous that you may laugh and ask, how can this possibly apply to me? But we all have our African bugs. Have you spent your last 15 years worrying about some catastrophe that has never happened? Then you have an African bug. Do you constantly criticize yourself for talking too much or not talking enough or talking incoherently? Is your self-blame so severe that your conversation has become contrived and dead? Then you have an African bug. Are you so worried about money that nothing else matters to you? Do you watch your savings account like a Silas Marner, suffering acute indigestion every time you must make a withdrawal, worrying over every dollar that is wasted? Then you have an African bug. All these African bugs must be brought to light and exposed for what they are. Negative beliefs that pull us down from our true level as human beings. Offensive obsessions that disfigure our self-images, that destroy our aspirations for the happiness that is our reasonable expectation. As in the case of Mr. R, they have a hypnotic effect which must be canceled out. They cause failure. We must wage a relentless war to exterminate them. What is your African bug? Now, here's the deal, beautiful people. Of course, this is class. This is not just entertainment. This is class for those who want to learn, for those who want to develop, for those who want to go to the next level. Now, it's not something for me to necessarily know. It may be something for you to just do a little self-reflection on and write down in your own notes. What is your African bug? Now I got to do some thinking on this because I feel like I've really already gone to war and I relentlessly exterminated a lot of this stuff, but I probably still have a couple African bugs still in my life. What is your African bug? Miss Alva said, man, that happens so much when people believe things others think of them. Alva said, man, yes, we have to shut out others and our own negative talk. Absolutely. Miss Vivian said, yes, I had an African bug. You had? You had? Oh, okay. You had? Oh, okay. Guess you don't have it. Okay, that African bug you don't have anymore. Is it possible that you still have an African bug, though? There wasn't multiple African bugs in your mouth. I don't know, right? But the thing is for you to recognize for yourself, right, whatever it is that you might be dealing with, whatever it is that's going on in your life. Because if you can't identify it yourself, then you can't fix it. You can't do anything about something that you don't recognize yourself. That's the whole point. For you to think about, man, are there some things in my life that I participate in that pull me down, that pull me down? Overcoming the failure mechanism. Let's keep going. Oh yeah. We're gonna make this a two-part series. Okay, we got a two-part. This is gonna be the last part for tonight. Oh, Lord Jesus. Yeah, this will be the last part for tonight. I didn't realize we read this much. Overcoming the failure mechanism. So I got time. Let's just go through this whole thing. Overcoming the failure mechanism. Tomorrow might be a little light because we read so much today. It'll be two parts. Overcoming the failure mechanism. Indeed, we must war against all aspects of the failure mechanism. Again, we're declaring war on negative feelings. I want us to make sure we're clear about this. Declaring war. War is not kumbaya. Okay, we're not sitting around joking around and playing songs, and we're not worshiping and all this. No, war. We're declaring war on negative feelings, which is what I call a system of self-reinforcing negative systems, which can disrupt an unaware individual's positive instincts. For just as certain positive predispositions can accelerate the happy functioning of a person's success mechanism, so can negative forces build up with the spread of a rolling stone going downhill, producing chains of negative feedback within the individual, which can lead only to defeat. I like to spell out the components of the failure mechanism, since I feel that this aids people in remembering them. Frustration, aggressiveness, insecurity, loneliness, uncertainty, resentment, and emptiness. That's failure. Let's do this again. Failure. F, frustration. A, aggressiveness. I, insecurity. L, loneliness. U, uncertainty. R, resentment. E, emptiness. Now, I don't think I'm going to go through all 6 of these today. I think I'm going to go through 3 and leave 3, because this might get good. I mean, this seems like it's about to get good. Okay? Failure. These are the elements of the failure mechanism. These are the enemy. Its weapons of destructiveness are horrifying. Let us consider them one by one so that we may penetrate through camouflage to their effect on the human being. So number 1, frustration. Right? Frustration. All right, let's see what you say, Alva. That happens so much. People, we have to. Okay, I'm sure I have a few African bugs in my back pocket hiding out. Man, we all do. Why I had to point it out, I'm being positive when I say I had. I'm working on getting the bug. Let's get them out, man. Hey, man, let's get some. What we need? We need some bug spray. Can we get some bug? Can we get some African bug spray, please? On aisle 5, we are sold out of the African bug spray. Hey, guys, we need another case of African bug spray on aisle 5, okay? Because we got to get these bugs out, man. We got to kill these motherfuckers. Ooh, I'm declaring war on my negative feelings. All right, frustrate, man. That's Vivian talking. Vivian know I love her. Vivian know I love her. All right, frustration. Whew. That's a big one. Frustration. I was feeling somebody frustrated. Woo, a couple weeks. Woo, I was feeling a little bit frustrated. Frustration. We feel frustration when we fail to achieve important goals or to satisfy basic desires. When we fail to achieve important goals or to satisfy basic desires. I think about that. Why was I frustrated? I know why I was frustrated. Yeah, it had something to do with achieving, and that we didn't achieve. It wasn't I didn't achieve. We didn't achieve, so therefore I didn't achieve. And I got a little frustrated. Everyone feels frustrated now and then because of our imperfect natures and the complex nature of the world. It is chronic frustration, which is a symptom of failure. When an individual finds himself caught in a pattern of repeated frustrations, he should ask himself, why? Are his goals too perfectionist? Does he block his aims with his own self-criticism? Does he regress to his feelings as an infant when frustration plus crying resulted in satisfaction? Wow. Woo. Well, you cut deep. Whoa. Wait a second. Did I just read what I just read? Oh, boy, you went back. You said, oh, okay, this is what used to work. So I guess I'll be frustrated and cry, and then I'll get satisfied. Ooh. They've been singing that song. Do it. Do it. Do it till you're satisfied. Oh, yes, let's do it. Let's keep crying. Do it. Woo! Why? Right? Hey, let's go back to what he said. He said, hey, when an individual finds himself caught in a pattern of repeated frustrations. That means you are locked and loaded. I mean, you going through the motions. He should ask himself why. Now, I know, Dr. Maxwell March, you recommend that. I would venture to say, whenever I've been going through some stuff, the last thing I thought about asking myself was why. Okay, that's the last question that came to my mind when I was going through it. Okay, very difficult to come to grips and try to figure out why is this happening, or why am I going through this, or why am I frustrated when you're frustrated. Okay, so shout out to all the strong people out there, because when I'm going through it, that's the last question I'm thinking about asking at the time. Okay, that's the last question. But hey, it probably works. I might need to try it. Frustrated rage does not get results. For infants, it may, but not for adults. Frustrated rage does not get results. I think y'all need to put that down in the comments, because that's pretty important. Frustrated rage does not get. Now, you know what? Now you got me thinking. Wait a second. Infants, it may, but not for adults. When he said when he hit that deep scar, because he a plastic surgeon, he be just cutting people up. he just cut. He need to cut it. He just cut some people with this frustration plus crying thing that he said, which resulted in satisfaction when you were infant. Because there are people who do this on a regular basis. And you'll be wondering, why are you crying? Where did the crying come from? We were just having a nice adult conversation, I thought. And all of a sudden you're crying. Where's that coming from? I don't know how to deal with that. That's like a new tactic. I don't know how to karate that one. What is going on here? Right? These people who add in the crying for sympathy and for you to change your opinion or whatever it is, so you can now be on their side. That's what infants do. They cry until you say, okay, you can have it, Johnny. Yeah, we grown as adults. Why you I know you're frustrated. Where the crying come from, though? Yeah, I'm thinking about a few people now. This is what they do. I mean, it's clear as day. That's their tactic. That's their strategy. That's their mode. That's their mode operandi, or whatever it's called. Woo! Hey, Alpha said, tears don't work for me, man. Everybody put it down. So frustrated rage does not get results. Now, I don't know if y'all are old enough to understand. Not understand. I'm sorry. If y'all are at that age where y'all really, really get what he's saying. Because some of us still believe if I get mad, I'll get what I want. I don't know where that works in like a real adult world, but it works in some situations. I mean, you got a simp ass nigga, whatever the case may be. You get mad. You might just get what you want, but that don't really work with most people, right? I mean, at the end of the day, if they ain't gonna give it to you, they ain't gonna give it to you. Yeah, there you go. There you go, Vivian. Mode operandi. I just made up some shit right there. I don't know what I said. Right? Mode operandi. That's what I meant to say. I'm stuck on this. Frustrated rage does not get results. Now, again, I'm thinking about quite a few people that's running up in my head who, at the slightest sign of, let's say, disagreement, they get frustrated. And then what comes after the frustration? Because now y'all in disagreement, you're in disagreement with a frustrated person, then they start getting angry. You're like, wait a second, can we just disagree without there being any anger involved? Where did the anger come from? Because we don't agree. You go from frustrated, right? We'll go from disagreement to frustrated to angry. Now you got what? Now you got what he just said here, which was frustrated rage. And guess what he said? It don't get results. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm saying to myself, why would I keep doing something if it's not getting me results? I mean, here's the deal. It does, but here's the deal. Okay, Mr. Marks, it does get you results. It just may not get you the results that you want. You get more disagreement, more frustration, more anger, and it just keeps going. And it keeps going. Now, that might not be the results you're looking for. So why participate or why even engage in a manner that won't get you what you want? Now, the reason I would believe is because you think you don't know it won't get you what you want. You keep thinking it's going to work. One day it's going to work, so you keep trying. But you only playing a game on yourself. Now, you might frustrate the other person. You might push their buttons. But you're really only playing the game on yourself because you're still not getting the results that you want. Whatever that is. What do you want, by the way? Do you know? I mean, did you even have some result that you wanted at the end of the day, or did you just, this is just how you operate? Frustrated rage does not get results. For infants, it may, but not for adults. A morbid concentration on one's grievances with life will only make one's problems more severe. Far better to focus on one's successes to gain confidence from seeing oneself winning out. Then one can forge ahead in life. Far better to focus on one's successes to gain confidence from seeing oneself winning out. You know what he just said? He said, man, instead of focusing on all the stuff that went wrong or goes wrong or doesn't go your way, why don't you try focusing on what does go your way? Why don't you start focusing on your wins? Great question to ask you right now. And this is something we do pretty regular in the BBC. How'd you win today? See, it's nighttime now. It's 10 o'clock on Eastern Standard Time, roughly 9:45. It's probably, if you're on the West Coast, 6:45. You done had a whole day of wins and losses. Now, I would say the immature, maybe not the immature, but let's just say I don't know. There's one type of people who is going to who has their day-to-day. They come home to hubby or wifey, and they start talking to their hubby or wife about all the shit that went wrong. Man, let me tell you, what a day. I mean, my boss was acting crazy. My co-workers, oh, Lord. I mean, I don't think I can have another day like this day, honey. I mean, my goodness. I mean, nothing went right today. I mean, oh, my God. I was stuck in an hour and a half of traffic. Oh, Lord. Now, we know there must have been some wins in that day. Had to be some wins somewhere along the way, but the losses outweighed the wins, and we had to talk and keep talking about the losses. But look, it said, focus on one's successes to gain confidence from seeing oneself winning out. Now, there's another type of person comes home, pretty interesting day, and they just decide. Everybody put console decide. They just decide, you know what? It's been a hell of a day. But we still ain't going to talk about all the hell of a shit that went on. Because inside of all of that stuff, man, look what I got here. Look what I had to be gracious for. They come home and say, honey, let me tell you what happened today. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff. We ain't going to talk about that. But here's some of the jewels that I took from today. I mean, my goodness. I mean, some of the things that happened today, I mean, most people will be lucky to even have recognized what the kind of day that I had. But my goodness, man, I'm still here, number one. That's important. I'm still here. I love my life. Number two, that's important too. But let me share with you some things that happened today, honey, I think you'll be proud of. You'll be proud of me. You'll be proud, honey, at how I handled this situation. Because this situation right here normally would have threw me off. Normally, this situation right here would have had me cussing up a storm, and I've been telling you about how I cuss somebody out. But nope, not today. I was born at night, but I wasn't born last night, and it didn't get me today. Today, I heard everything. And it got me riled up. I was ready. I was, oh, Lord, here we go. I'm ready to go in. But then my second mind started talking. Said, you know what it said? Let me tell you what it said, honey. You know what it said? It asked me two questions. Number one, it asked me, is this going to be productive? Okay. Then it asked me, is this going to be profitable? And once I started thinking about that, because we learned that last night, once I started thinking like that, I said, oh, Lord, I could get out of this. I could get out of this. I know how to get out of this. And I started asking some good questions. And I got out of that thing without cussing, without going off on anybody. I know you're going to be happy. I know this is a cookie moment. I know. I said, when I get home, when I tell her this story, I'll give me some cookies. And I've been thinking about this story all day, honey. I've been thinking about this. I couldn't wait to tell you. I couldn't wait to tell you because I figured them cookies was on the line. It's got my whole day. I've been thinking about it. All that other stuff. I mean, stuff was happening all throughout the day. I mean, it was trying to get my attention. But my attention stayed on the cookies. Oh, Lord, I'm about to, Lord. So in case you guys missed it, yesterday we learned about productivity and profitability as ways of making decisions. If y'all missed yesterday, y'all go back. I'm not going to. Y'all got to go back and get that one because that was a game changer. Okay. Focus on your wins. That's right, Miss Alva. Right. I set those kinds of rundowns like that. They have to keep that negative report to themselves. I know that's right, man. Come on, don't come with all this. Come on, we just got home. Can we focus on your day's jewels, right? Take lessons from the bad day. See, our welcome reports, like that's what I'm talking about, man. Praise report queen up in here. That's right, cookie moment. It was a cookie moment for me. Tweedledee, tweedledum. Ooh, y'all can't have fun reading. I don't know what y'all do. You're supposed to have fun while you're reading, man. Number two, aggressiveness. Whew, okay, aggressiveness. So we're spelling out failure here, and now we're talking about aggressiveness. Frustration produces aggressiveness, misdirected. There's nothing wrong with aggressiveness. Properly channeled to reach our goals, we must at times be aggressive. But misdirected aggressiveness is a surefire symptom of failure. Following on the heels of frustration, contributing to a vicious cycle of defeat. It is usually linked up with the setting of inappropriate goals which the individual cannot achieve. This leads to a frustrated rage which the person discharges wildly in all directions, like a mad dog going berserk or fireworks sputtering into the night. Innocent parties become targets to a person trapped in a frustration aggressive cycle. He may snap at his wife for no reason, bawl out on his children, insult his friends, antagonize his co-workers. Furthermore, his rage will increase as his relations with people deteriorate, causing still more frustration and more blind lashing out. Now, we call this toxic, I believe. I believe this word we use now is called toxic. Toxic. Woo! Where does this dreadful cycle end? The answer lies not in the elimination of aggression, but in properly channeling it toward the achievement of goals that will bring satisfaction, reducing the unbearable buildup of frustration. The frustrated, aggressive person must see that he can act to reach success for himself. We call this person toxic. Now, what I find when we come across these toxic, I mean, we're talking about, I mean, this is really challenging because this is a person who is just out of control. And they might be you might be sleeping with them. I'm just saying. Okay, I'm sorry. But every little thing pushes them to 100. We see this all the time. We see this often, right? We see, especially with the youth, with some of our teenagers, they go from 0 to 100. Like, you wait a second, how did that move you to 100? You didn't even stop at 75. How did that get you all the way to I'm about to hurt somebody, I'm about to hit somebody? How did you go from 0 to one comment being said that you may have misinterpreted to you going to 100, ready to shoot somebody? How do you do that? Then stop at 50. Let me just see if I get some understanding here. No. We see this all the time, right? With our youth, our teenagers. They just ready to fight. They just angry and aggressive. So as I'm thinking about, this type of person, this toxic individual who is basically unhappy, dissatisfied, and just ready to snap on anything moving. Now, here's the thing. Like, some people find that attractive. Some people find that attractive. Because they really are complex, hard to figure out type things as well. That intrigues people. Like, you got some fire in your belly. It's gonna be great sex. Okay. Okay. But I think, like, here's where I was going with it. Like, many of us would just go the other route, go opposite direction, right? You know what I'm saying? Because, it's very difficult to help someone like that. It very is. We hear a little blueprint on what it would take to help somebody like this. But the reality of trying to help someone like this, where does this dreadful cycle, it can burn you out. Now, let me read this again. We say, the answer lies not in the elimination of aggression, but in properly channeling it toward the achievement of goals that will bring satisfaction. So it sounds like this will have to come from someone that they love, not that loves them, who will start asking these questions like, what are you trying to accomplish? What do you want to do with your life? And let's help you reach those goals. Let's help you get there so you can start to have some happiness instead of being, like Miss Vivian said, miserable. Now, you said toxic loves toxic. Hey, man, we attract to ourselves that which we are. And you might want to start thinking about who you're attracting and who you are. Okay, taking days off of life for going 0 to 100 so quickly. Understanding what's that. I know that's right. I don't know. I don't think I have the strength to help this type of person. I can help a whole lot of people. I can help the frustrated person. Okay, I can help the frustrated person. This aggressive person, because now they're frustrated and aggressive. I don't think I got the strength to do that, dog. I'm gonna do hands off, dog. Somebody else's problem. Okay. That's not my responsibility. Woo! Yeah, I'll probably walk too. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just walking. Let somebody else deal with that. Oh, they had to deal with it. They had to figure out. You're a grown ass man, dog. You'll figure it out. Okay. I will do one more and then we'll get up out of here, man. Oh, I did not know it was gonna be this long. I'm sorry, but it's been good. Okay. Insecurity. This is another unpleasant feeling. It is based on a feeling of inner inadequacy. When you feel that you do not meet your challenges properly, you feel insecure. Often, however, it is not our inner resources that are lacking. The trouble lies in our setting of perfectionist standards. The insecure person is frequently quite competent, but living with impossible expectations. He tends to criticize himself constantly. His feelings of insecurity cause him to trip himself up so that he falls pathetically short of his true potential. Woo. I ain't writing, guys. I'm just reading. I'm just saying. Okay. So he's saying, man, this type of person is living with impossible expectations. Impossible expectations of himself, of others, in life. and he falls pathetically short of his true potentials because of these impossible expectations that he set up. Now the question is like, where did you get these expectations? Have you not been paying attention to life? Because life kind of shares with you what to expect if you pay attention. These impossible expectations that you set up in your own mind, causing you to move towards failure. And it's all mixed up. It's all bundled up in this word called insecurity. Wow, that's a totally different way to look at insecurity than I ever thought about. I got the first part when he said when you feel like when you feel you do not meet your challenges, that you don't meet your challenges properly. I get that. You feel a certain way, you don't make the cut, you feel inadequate, you're insecure. I get that. But this second part, I did not think about someone who lives with impossible and I know some of these people. You'd be like, what? How'd you expect that? Where'd that come from? But I never connect that to being insecure. Wow. Whew. This is part 1, by the way, of how to win your war against negative feelings. From a Maxwell Marks. Again, one of the most renowned, I guess you can call him a philosopher because he got into philosophy later on in his life as he went plastic surgeon and then start studying people. But here's what I want you guys to get. I want you guys to understand, like this book, okay? It's bringing us. We don't have to go out and find them all. It's bringing to us all of these great minds that have studied this shit for years and have written about it so that we can learn it and don't have to go through it ourselves. And I'm not taking this book lightly at all. I'm not. No. Okay. No, not the kid. No. This right here is something serious. And I hope that you're grabbing something from it. I felt like tonight this title was very apropos for where a lot of people might find themselves. But again, when you're going through it, it's very difficult to be looking for solutions when you're in a problem. Okay, when you're in the problem, it's very difficult. You start saying, you know what? Let me start finding some solutions so I get out of this thing, so I get this thing wrapped up. So I get it. So I'm not, hopefully they'll catch the replay. Okay, hopefully they'll catch the replay, and hopefully you got something out of tonight as well. This is the New Black Wall Street Book Club. We'll be back tomorrow, same black time, same black channel, at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday, to wrap up, right, the second part 2 of how to win your war against negative feelings. This is the University of Success, and I'm your host, ERGJ, your certified global financial educator. I want you guys to remember this, that it takes a village. It starts with us. Let's build and keep on building as we climb together. We all we got, beautiful people. Matter of fact, all we really need. Thank God. That's more than enough. Until next episode, you know what time it is. Mr. DJ, hit the music.
New black. It's the New Black Wall Street Book Club. With your host, Evan Jefferson. It's time for us to go. Yeah. Now, you ain't got to leave the computer, but we encourage you to get out there and learn and apply all the things you learn at the New Black Wall Street Book Club. Yeah. The New Black Wall Street.